Hi, today we're going to explore 26 different elements you might include when writing your family history book. And I want to start by addressing a question many of you may have. Where do I even begin? The good news is that creating a family history book has never been more accessible. I designed storied books on storied.com to make it simple to organize and publish your family story in a beautiful hardcover book. Whether you're writing about yourself, a single ancestor who fascinates you, or an entire branch of your family tree. But regardless of which platform you use, the real question is, what should go in that book? That's what we're here to answer today. As we go through these 26 options, remember, you don't need to include all of them. Think of this as a menu. Choose what resonates with your family's story and what sources you have available. And here's the most important thing I'll say today. Prioritize the stories and details that only you know right now, before they're lost forever. Facts will still be discoverable in 50 years, but the memory of great-grandma's laugh, the family stories, the why behind the decisions, those disappear when the people who remember them are gone. I'm Jordan Ireland, and this is A to Z Planning Grid, 26 ideas to fill your family history book. A is for ancestor profile. Start with a life summary, because that's the essential framework. Birth, death, marriages, children, occupation, and locations. This is your roadmap that helps readers understand who this person was at a glance. Think of it as the skeleton that everything else hangs on. Before you share the story of their adventurous spirit, readers need to know when and where they lived. This profile provides the context that makes all the other details meaningful. B is for beliefs and values. What principles guided their decisions? Your ancestors' beliefs and values explain the choices they made and often shaped the family culture you inherited. Look for clues in letters, diaries, or family stories. Did they value education above all else? Was faith central to their identity? Were they known for their honesty or generosity? These aren't just abstract concepts. They're the invisible forces that drove major life decisions and created family patterns that may continue today. C is for childhood memories. Childhood memories humanize your ancestors in a way nothing else can. Whether these are first-hand accounts or stories passed down, they help readers, especially younger family members, connect emotionally with people they never met. Did your ancestor walk miles to school in harsh weather? Did they have a favorite swimming hole? Remember a beloved teacher? These small personal details transform names on a family tree into real children with experiences and emotions. D is for disasters. Major natural disasters weren't just historical events. They were personal survival stories that shaped entire communities and families. Search newspaper archive, local histories, and Red Cross records for fires, floods, epidemics, or economic collapses your family endured. The 1918 flu pandemic, the Dust Bowl, major urban fires. These experiences reveal resilience and character. Showing how your family survived and rebuilt creates powerful narrative tension and demonstrates the strength you inherited. E is for education and schooling. Education levels reveal both the opportunities and limitations of your ancestors' era. A third-grade education in 1890 tells a completely different story than a college degree. Find school records, report cards, and yearbooks at archives or in family collections. This context explains career choices, social mobility, and the aspirations they held for their children. Education often represented sacrifice, families doing without so one child could attend school, making it a powerful testament to values. F is for family recipes. Recipes are edible history, and they're among the most treasured parts of any family book. That handwritten cookie recipe connects readers directly to great-grandma's kitchen. But don't just list ingredients, include the food memories and stories attached. Who made this every Sunday? What holiday was incomplete without this dish? Copy recipes exactly as written, complete with stains and margin notes. Readers love trying these, making history tangible, delicious, and shareable across generations. G is for gravestones. Gravestones offer more than vital dates. They tell stories through the epitaphs and who's buried nearby. The epitaph chosen by family reveals how they wanted their loved one remembered. Notice the surrounding graves as well. Family plots show relationships and tell you who is important enough to be buried together. H is for homes lived in. Houses ground family stories in a physical space and reveal so much about daily life. Find addresses in census records, city directories, and deeds. Take modern photos, locate historical images, and describe the neighborhoods. Was it a farmhouse, a crowded tenement, or a comfortable Victorian? Housing reflects economic status, family size, and social aspirations. When you describe the home, readers can picture where the kitchen table conversations happened, where children played, and where life unfolded. I is for immigration papers. Ship manifests, naturalization papers, and passports document incredible journeys and capture the courage of leaving everything behind. Access these through the Ellis Island Database, Ancestry, Storied, or the National Archives. These records answer crucial questions. When did they arrive? Who traveled with them? What did they declare as their occupation? But go beyond the facts. Explore the why. What were they fleeing? What were they hoping for? What did they carry with them, both literally and figuratively? J is for journeys and travel. Beyond immigration, document all significant trips and moves. Travel reveals adventure, economic opportunity, or hardship. Your ancestors as active agents shaping their destinies. Use letters, postcards, photos, and maps to trace their journeys. Remember, even a trip to the next county was significant in 1880. Did they follow the railroad west, move for a job, visit family they hadn't seen in decades? Each journey represents a decision point and often a turning point in their story. K is for keepsakes. Physical objects carry meaning far beyond their function. A pocket watch, family Bible, handmade quilt, or military medal. These tangible links to the past deserve preservation in your book. Photograph and describe them, but more importantly, tell their stories. Who owned it? Why was it saved? What does it represent to your family? Even everyday objects, a button tin, a pipe, reading glasses, become precious when you know whose hands held them and why they mattered. L is for letters and postcards. Letters and postcards are absolute gold. Your ancestors' actual voices speaking across time. Transcribe them fully, preserving original spelling and grammar, which often reveals education level and personality. They capture relationships, daily concerns, emotions, and historical moments in a way nothing else can. Even mundane letters about weather and crops show authentic life. A letter complaining about the rain is a window into their actual day-to-day reality. M is for military service. Military service records, draft cards, discharge papers, and pension files tell powerful stories of duty, sacrifice, and transformation. Access these through the National Archives, Fold 3, Storied, or State Archives. Include unit histories and battles, but also explore how service shaped them afterward. Did they return different? Did military benefits provide education or land? Military service often defined men's identities for life and connected them to a brotherhood that transcended their civilian lives. N is for newspaper articles. Local newspapers documented everyday life, births, marriages, social events, accidents, and obituaries. Search newspaper archive or local library collections to find them. These third-party accounts verify family stories and often include surprising details that relatives might have forgotten or never mentioned. They also place ancestors in their community context. You see them interacting with neighbors, participating in town events, being real members of a living community, not just isolated family members. O is for organizations and clubs. Membership in churches, fraternal orders, unions, social clubs, or professional organizations reveals values and social networks. Check organizational records, meeting minutes, and membership lists at historical societies. These affiliations show how ancestors built community and found support systems, especially important for immigrants and newcomers. A Freemason membership or Ladies' Aid Society participation tells you about their social world and what groups they trusted to help them navigate life's challenges. P is for pets. Don't overlook family animals. Pets and farm animals were companions, workers, and sometimes economic necessities. Beloved dogs appear in photos. Horses had names and personalities. Milk cows supported families. Include pet names and stories. They humanize ancestors and absolutely delight younger readers. A small detail about a child's pet rabbit or a loyal farm dog brings warmth and relatability to any family history. These stories remind us that love and companionship cross generations. Q is for questions still unanswered. Be honest about gaps in your research. This shows integrity and invites future generations to continue investigating. What couldn't you verify? Where did you hit brick walls? What family stories contradict the records? List these mysteries openly. Acknowledging what you don't know is just as valuable as sharing what you do. It models that family history is ongoing, never truly finished, and that there's always more to discover. You're passing the torch, not closing the book. R is for religion. Religious affiliation shaped worldviews, communities, calendars, and major life decisions. Look for baptism, confirmation, and marriage records on Storied. Include denomination, level of involvement, and any clergy in the family. Religion often explains migration patterns, like Quakers to Pennsylvania, Catholics to certain neighborhoods, and Mormons to Utah. It also explains family rifts when someone married outside the faith or converted. Religion was often the organizing principle of their entire social world. S is for social life. How did they spend leisure time? Social activities reveal personality and cultural life beyond work and survival. Find evidence in diaries, photos of picnics or dances, club memberships, and theater programs. Did they play instruments, host card parties, attend barn dances, fish on Sundays? These details make ancestors three-dimensional, not just workers and parents, but people who laughed, celebrated, and found joy. Social life also reveals class and cultural assimilation for immigrant families. T is for timelines. Visual timelines help readers track complex lives, especially when covering multiple people across generations. Map births, moves, marriages, wars, deaths, and other significant events. This organizational tool shows patterns you might otherwise miss, like everyone moving west in the 1880s, or multiple family members serving in the same war. Timelines prevent confusion and help readers follow along without constantly flipping back to check dates. They're particularly helpful for children and visual learners. U is for unique discoveries. Every family has surprising finds that make research exciting. An unexpected profession, perhaps an ancestor who was a snake oil salesman or a suffragette, a scandalous divorce, a patent for an invention, a published poem, a connection to a historical event. Highlight these treasures. They're conversation starters and often the most memorable parts of your book. These discoveries reward research persistence and make your family history distinctive. They're proof that ordinary families have extraordinary stories. V is for vital records. Birth, marriage, and death certificates are your foundation. Access them through state archives, county clerks, Family Search, and Storied. They provide legal proof, but also revealing details. Parents' names and birthplaces, causes of death, witnesses to marriages, occupations, exact addresses. Always cite your sources so others can verify your research. These documents anchor everything else and separate well-researched family history from family mythology. They're not as exciting, but they are essential, the framework supporting your entire narrative. W is for work life. Occupation shapes daily reality in profound ways. Beyond job titles from census records, explore working conditions, hours, wages, and workplace culture. Use city directories, employment records, union materials, and oral histories. A coal miner's life differed vastly from a shopkeeper's. Different risks, different hours, different social status. Work life explains economic status, health outcomes, why they lived where they lived, and often why they made the choices they made for their children's futures. X is for extra photos. Include photos beyond the formal portraits. Candid shots, workplace scenes, houses, cars, vacations, and daily life. Identify everyone possible and note locations and dates on any image. Even blurry photos have value if they show context or capture a moment. Create a separate photo section or scatter images throughout your narrative. As a general rule of thumb, if you feel like you have enough photos in your book, you could probably add 1 or 2 more. Why is for your reflection. Share why you undertook this project, what you learned, and how researching changed your understanding of your family. This personal voice connects past to present and reader to author. What surprised you? What made you proud? What broke your heart? Your perspective adds crucial meaning and encourages others to value their heritage. You're not just a researcher, you're a descendant making sense of your inheritance. That first-person voice transforms a report into a gift. And finally, Z is for Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist is the spirit of the times. Capture the spirit of the era, popular culture, technology, politics, economics, social norms. What was happening in the world during their lives? The Depression? World Wars? Women's suffrage? The automobile's arrival? These weren't just backdrops, but forces shaping daily decisions. When you explain that your ancestor raised 6 children during the Depression, readers need to understand what that meant. Context helps modern readers appreciate the constraints and opportunities that aren't obvious from our comfortable present. So there you have it, 26 elements you can consider including in your family history book. Remember, you don't need all 26. Choose what fits your family's story and the sources you have available. But here's what I want you to take away today. Start now. Don't wait until you have every detail perfect. Don't wait until you've answered every question. The most important content, those irreplaceable stories, memories, and interpretations that live only in human memory, cannot wait. Future generations can find names and dates in records. What they can't find, unless you write it down, is who these people actually were. Their personality, their voice, what made them laugh, how they made others feel. Whether you use storied books, unstoried, or another method, the key is to begin. Write the stories before they're lost. Preserve the memories while people still remember. Create something that future generations will treasure, not just for the facts, but for the love and connection that motivated you to do this work. Your family's story deserves to be told, and you are the perfect person to tell it. Thank you.